WAOH is brought to you in part by Ohio's #1 trusted real estate team, The Young Team. Online at theyoungteam.com.
Today I get to talk with Ty Howell and Ryan Rogers. They are from Life After the Party podcast. How are you guys today?
Good. Great. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, I'm so glad you guys could come on the show. I have been very interested in your story. I've been reading your book that you put out, and just wanted to have you guys on to chat because it's such an important topic.
Right.
Yeah. And so, Ty, go ahead and share a little bit. I want you to actually share just a little bit of your story. I know it's hard in this setting, but try to give us like the 3 or 4 minute version of how you ended up here.
I'll water it down. I've been in active addiction for 10 plus years. Been to 3 or 4 rehabs. And after I got out of my last rehab center, I wanted to help out more with the community. So I decided to write a book. And then, the people who I went with to write the book pretty much did all the work for me. So I just had to approve of this and that. So, once the book was getting in circulation, I wanted to do more because I can't just sit still. Me and him have ADHD real bad. So
well, and the book's called Surviving Addiction. I want to one day at a time. I think it's important if people want to hear the long version of your story.
Right, exactly.
They can get that book and
Amazon, all platforms, stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had an Audible version, and the Audible version's really great. So you can check it out there if you like to listen rather than read too.
Right, exactly.
Exactly. Go ahead and keep going.
I'm interested in podcasting. I love watching podcasting. And I wanted to create one myself. So, I started out with one, and then me and my buddy, we lived too far apart.
Right.
So that kind of like went downhill. And then, I get this text message once my book got out from all these people, but one person in particular, this guy right here.
Right over here. Tell us, what did that text say?
So I just, I'm 15 years sober from alcohol, and I'm a big proponent on just trying to get people help if they can, and I think the gist of it for me was I'll put posts on social media, but if I see something that moves me, then I think it'll move other people. So I saw that about him, and we weren't friends.
No, didn't even know each other.
I saw the book, and I saw people saying that they were proud of him, and so I messaged him. I direct messaged him, and I was like, "Hey," I said, "You don't know me." I said, "But I know your family." And I was like, "I'm just proud of you." I said, "It's hard to get through all this," and he was
we're from the same small town.
Yeah,
it's so wild because
right.
I know from the beginning of your book, it actually sounded like where I grew up and went to school, Mogador, Ohio, tiny little village.
Yeah.
Maybe even more. Maybe even less going on there, and where you were from. But
I don't know. There's one stoplight in
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, one stoplight. There was in Mogador. There may be 2 now, but there was one when I grew up there. So anyway, the point being that it's kind of wild that
Oh, I don't think there's any coincidences. I mean, I'm strong in my faith.
Yes, he is.
And I think that I don't believe there's any coincidence.
You were brought together, absolutely.
Right. Yeah. And so that's when I came over because he was talking about the other podcast that he was doing in Akron, actually. And he was like, could you just, maybe take a look at it, see what you think? And I'm like, I don't know from podcasts, really. I just don't. I said, but I'll look at it.
Right, exactly.
And so then he was like, well, I was thinking about maybe doing another one. And he was like, what do you think? And I said, all we can do is just open the mics up and see if it works.
Right.
If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And to use his word, if we vibe, he's younger, he's younger than I am. So anyway, we did.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's been blessed. It continues to grow, and really leaps and bounds, which is strange.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we weren't expecting that,
no.
Both of us have other things that we have going on.
Right.
And so, it continues. And I think it's because it's an outreach. It's to help other people. And that's the main thing that we want to do.
A resource,
and so if we can help just one person, then that's
totally
all that matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, and
There's
I think
a purpose behind that.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think that a lot of people have stories that are similar, and it doesn't discriminate.
No.
I mean, he talks about that all the time.
Yeah.
And so, there's just, you keep hearing more of these stories that people tell us. And I don't know. I don't know if I can. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's right.
Yeah, tell me a little bit more about the podcast itself, and if you have like a specific story of someone that's been either touched by it or even someone that you had on the show.
Yeah, well, we focus on mental health, addiction recovery.
Okay.
We see that there's a stigma behind it. A lot of people don't like to talk about it,
Right.
or get it out in the open, and we want to bring that stigma out of it,
Right.
and allow people to talk about their mental health, other than just stick it down deep inside and not say nothing.
Right. I know. It's like the whole idea of, you would go to a doctor for any other thing if you were sick, right?
Right,
Right.
exactly.
Probably heard that, but it's like there's still, even though it's gotten better, there's still a stigma surrounding mental health and going to see someone if you need help. And it's so important, I think, for all of us to do the work of breaking down those barriers.
Absolutely.
So,
Oh, I think, no, I mean, I agree 100%. I think
Yeah.
that it's very sad
Yeah.
that people struggle with all that, with so many different things, and it all kind of seems to stem. I'm not saying all of it does, but a lot of addiction does from mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's something
exactly.
there that you can't get right. So, but what we like to do too in Life After the Party, because when we were talking about it, I mean, he was like, I want to do something that's just, it's fun.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like,
bring some humor.
It's kind
to
of hard
Yeah.
to put humor to
Yeah.
what we're talking about. But then I was like, well, we call it Life After the Party
Right.
because our lives are so much like better than they were.
Exactly.
I mean,
and to show people that you
Right.
can have a good life
Right, it's not
and it's
boring.
still fun.
after the party.
Yeah,
Right.
Exactly.
So, and that's
He
what,
came up with the name because I told him in text message, like, this is the vision I picture. Either he's going to tell me, no, you're crazy, I got other stuff I got going on,
Right.
which he did, and or let's do it. And there was no thinking. Like, the text message back was, let's do this. He's very creative too. So I was like, you think of the name, and then I'll have somebody make it into like a logo or something. And we bounced back different things, right? And then he came back with Life After the Party, and I was like, that's it.
oh yeah, and
That's
then
perfect.
the hand,
The hand,
like
yeah.
the hand means like it's
right here.
It's on the hat,
On
but
hats,
yeah.
right.
and on the shirts, but it's a maze. It's actually a Native American thing that I found, and what is crazy about it, if you look, there's a man that's going through the maze, and there's all these different areas that are blocked off,
Yeah.
and it's just like your life, right? So anytime that something blocks you off like that, you can start again. And that's
Exactly.
kind of what the whole thing. So when
There's
the hand
another
and the maze
Right.
it's all in your hands that you
Yeah.
can do it.
And it's
you
just
know,
like
so-
relapsing. I mean, I've relapsed dozens of times, but it doesn't mean like you fail. Like, you've learned something up to that point. You just got to start over again. And it's hard, but it works. I've been sober for a year and 7 months now.
Congratulations.
Thank
did
you.
it. We
We
did
did
Give
a
you a
golf
round of
clap.
applause.
Yeah.
we do
Awesome.
golf clap on our.
Oh, I love that. Golf clap.
Golf clap.
That's
So it's like, you got a 15-year sober man over here and a year and 7 months. So you got two different perspectives.
Well, and that's great too, because there's going to be people listening who are in your
Right.
shoes, and there's going to be people listening in your shoes or still in active addiction, but
Exactly.
wanting to get out. And you may
Yes.
be able to speak to them a little more because you've, struggled with relapsing
Right.
and
I remember it.
and
Yeah.
are more fresh to it.
Yeah,
So
actually.
it's important
and
for
that's
both
the
sides.
thing.
Yeah.
We've like the outpouring of people from my past, his past, that you had no idea, right?
Exactly.
Like I got messages and they're like, "We love what you're doing." I'm living in sober living right now, and I'm like, I had no
Yeah,
idea.
that you wouldn't have
You
even
know,
known.
Right,
and
exactly.
I mean, corporate people, different walks of life. It doesn't discriminate at all.
No, it
and
doesn't.
so, it's I don't know. I smile a lot, and sometimes it makes me look like I'm simple, but it's a really good feeling. It's
Yeah.
a good feeling to have, and I think that the more that we do, the more it's blessed.
Yeah, exactly.
And it continues to.
We're very lucky to
if-
even have this.
It just continues to help more and more people. And if they, if they hear a story, you were talking about, is there any specific story? And one that I think that we both really kind of were related to and like in awe of, is there was a couple that came
Yes, the first one.
and they were, it was amazing. And it was
Yeah.
like this support group because the wife wasn't, didn't have any problems with
Nope.
alcohol, but her husband did. And to see them sit there with their, like, hand in hand, like we are going to right
Exactly.
now. Anyway, no, but it was really, it was moving, and to see that unfold. And actually, when we started the podcast, the guy looked at us and went,
Yeah.
I don't like to talk. And I'm like, oh my God,
Exactly.
what are we going to do?
And then he's like, I'm getting ready to turn on the cameras.
Yeah.
He's like, I thought this was just talk. I'm like, no, we're going to film it too. He goes, oh no. I'm like, Ryan, handle this.
But then we ended up, just from talking
Yeah.
to him, and
Helped
they actually
feel
ended up working
comfortable.
together.
Yeah.
Like they worked together, and he knew,
Exactly.
and he just came out of a shell, and it was like this amazing thing. And afterwards,
Yeah.
it's like friends for life.
Exactly. He wants to come back.
Important to have his wife there too to
Right.
even show
Oh, the support.
yeah,
Amazing.
Yeah.
show the support of how important the support is of someone in your life.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's a huge support group.
It
It's
is.
amazing. I know I'm blessed to have my family that, I live with. Because I after rehab, I sold my house in Yorksville, Ohio, to go back and live with them because I didn't want to go sober living.
Okay.
So I still had a job. So I've still been with them. Bless their hearts. They put up with me. But yeah, they've supported
They've
this
been that
podcast and me and helped us out tremendously.
that's so cool. So I want to, as we're kind of wrapping up here, I want to have you both share separately. We'll start with you, Ty. I want you to share to the person who wants out, but they're still living in addiction.
Right.
I want you to give them some words of wisdom from your own perspective.
Absolutely. I've been there. It's hard. I understand that the struggle is absolutely real, and some people don't understand it, and some people do. But if you put the work into it and really, really want to be sober, there's a way out. There definitely is. I always thought that there wasn't. I thought I was just going to be in active addiction for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And, you definitely got to have support. If you can't find support, then reach out to somebody who cares. Everybody cares.
Right.
Reach out to us if you want to.
Yeah.
We're always here. Get phone numbers. It's
I'm sure you
recovery's
guys
possible.
even know a lot of different recovery groups.
Yeah,
that
we got a lot of
Yeah.
Yeah, we're starting to
resources.
get more and more people that are kind of
Yes.
giving us information, which
Yeah.
is wonderful.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what's amazing.
And you can connect people. And actually, I
Oh,
know
Val-
quite a few too. So you could reach out to me as well if you're
Yeah.
watching this right now. We've worked with Jadfa House.
Yeah, we know Kenny.
know
Yeah.
Kenny
Kenny.
Lambert.
Yep.
Really well, yeah.
I know they're trying to get their house open, but they do a support group on Friday evenings in
Yeah.
Kenmore. So
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing. He does
Absolutely.
amazing
He
things.
Yeah.
does.
if anyone's looking in the Kenmore area, we can give you info about that.
We're lucky
support
to know
group.
him.
Yeah.
He's helped us a lot too, and too Fluent, making
Yep.
this possible. They've helped us out a lot, trying to get us out there, and they're doing great work. as
Yeah,
well.
they are. So I love that. I'm going to go to you now.
Okay.
So speaking from a 15-year being sober,
You know what?
what kind of wisdom have you learned?
One word: hope. There's always hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
And and there's different walks of life, different addictions, different things.
Yeah.
But like we always like to say, and we mean it, is we're open arms. We're there for that hug. Like if you need it, we're not. We say it all the time.
Yeah.
We're not doctors. We don't know, but we do know our hearts
Mm-hmm.
and what you've went through. And we may not know. I'm learning things daily because, I don't even know some of the things that are out there now because it's been so long, but hope. That's the message that I would say. There's always hope. And
Hold on to hope.
Yeah.
And there's a way out. And
There
I love
definitely is a way out.
the design on your hat
Thank you.
to remind you of
On
that.
mine over
Yeah.
here, yep.
To remind you there's a way out of that maze, even if you hit those walls, because we're all going to hit those walls.
Absolutely, yeah.
Whether it's with addiction or
any-
life.
Anything,
life
yeah.
in general,
Right.
There's hope.
Yeah.
Life's hard.
Yeah,
But,
and that's like just the whole mental health thing, it all kind of comes together, and I think we all need that hug sometimes.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
It doesn't mean that you have to have an addiction issue.
Right.
Right.
It's
Or that
just-
you're weak.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You're not
It's just-
You're not weak.
No.
I mean, the way that society is right now, it gets you just need to go back to that, just
Yeah.
that hug and that hope and.
Pull up by your bootstraps
That-
doesn't work.
Simplicity.
yeah.
No, it doesn't.
There's a lot of resources out there, a lot of rehab centers. You can get funding to go. It doesn't matter. I mean, I know it's scary. I was scared when I went to my first rehab.
Of course.
But you meet amazing people in there. It's not what you think, and it really does help out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so true. And I love that you're an example of, you know, it not always working the first or second time. So again, back to hope. It's like, keep going.
Exactly. There's always something.
Yes.
And I think that the podcast actually helps him as well.
Yeah, it does.
I see growth in him. Like, it's just amazing to watch.
Yeah.
And his faith has gotten stronger.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. I think that everything just kind of came together the right way. And it's,
I mean,
really
I've got
beautiful.
closer to God because of him. I don't speak it out loud as much as I should, but you know, that's the one thing my mother said. Like, if you get with this guy, you can't cuss a whole lot, and and you have to be open to God. And I was like, I can do that, and I have.
she said a whole lot.
A whole lot.
Because, I mean, like,
I mean,
no,
like a little bit.
I turned it up.
I thought maybe it should have been
Well,
none,
you
but
know,
just
We all have our rough edges.
it's
like
oh,
you
yeah.
said,
our
right?
world. Look,
We all have our rough edges.
right.
Yes, we do.
For sure. Okay, so I want people to be able to find you guys. So I want you to share, how can they find Life After the Party podcast? How can they find the two of you? If they want to connect with you, go ahead and share all of that info, and then we'll switch it over to Ryan for his info. He's got it more.
Yeah, we're on YouTube right now.
And
Life After
Spotify.
Party and Spotify. We've shortened it, so it's Life After Party, a celebration in sobriety.
Okay.
But we shortened it to Life After the Party. But you can go on both of our Facebooks. You can find what are they called? Links to it.
Okay. Great.
Instagram. We're on all social media
All social media platforms.
forums. Yeah, my email address. You can even get on there and email me. It's ty.how2007@gmail.com.
All right.
And I'm not putting my email address out there, so we
He's
just
got too much on there, yeah.
No, I get it.
no, but that's pretty much right now. I mean, because we're talking
We got
about building a
cards and stuff,
website and
yeah.
everything too, but it kind of exploded like very quickly.
Yeah,
and
so
so
we're
I just think that there's a need for it. That's what
Yeah, there's a need.
Absolutely. People want to not feel like they're alone, and you're helping them to not feel like they're alone. And so thank you for doing that. And thank you for being a light. I love when people take their stories and then they, shine a light into their communities. And so appreciate both of you doing that. And we will link everything so they can find you guys at
So
Life
wonderful.
After the Party podcast.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Amazing
It's a
meeting you.
pleasure.
Yeah. Both of you guys as well. Thank you for your stories, and thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching Good Morning Akron. We appreciate you so much. Make sure you stay tuned. We've got more great stuff coming up next.